Hello, welcome to my channel. If you're joining for the first time, thank you for joining me today, and I hope you find reasons to subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, as usual, you're the real MVP. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your loyalty. Thank you so much. And special shout out to Ego Edna. Thank you so much, sis. I see you on every single video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to jump right straight into the topic. In one of my previous videos, I talked about the impact of social media on our collective value as a society. And I think I mentioned there I was going to do a video on social media etiquette. So yes, this is what I am doing. It's a sequel sort of to that video. And just like you've seen on your screen, I'm talking about social media etiquette. And so, first of all, what do we mean by etiquette? I'm sure most of us know, but just in case, etiquette basically is like social guidelines on how people should behave in a public. More or less, that's about it. So on social media, I think is public because currently 50.68% of the world's 7.84 billion people are on social media. And that amounts to about 4.57 billion people. If that's not public enough for you, I don't know what is. 4.57 billion people on social media, that's a lot. And I think that overqualifies, for a forum that should have its etiquette. So I'm going to be sharing from my own personal opinion, of course, because I cannot be speaking for 4.87 billion people, but from my own personal experience and from what I have seen so far, what I think is adequate, I'm just going to be sharing, I think, 5 social media etiquette tips that one should always look out for when interacting on social media. But it just further goes to show the point I was making in my last the two videos before this one, that social media is not going anywhere. It has come here to stay. In fact, when I was also looking at the statistics, I think in 2019 there were about 45% of the world's population on social media, and then it jumped to a whooping 49% in 2019, and just as at March 2021 it has already risen to 50.68%, and I'm not surprised, especially with the coronavirus and everybody being indoors. More and more people are going to be coming on social media, and it's going to be more of a reality. So the other day I was talking with one of my friends, and I painted a picture, like we're talking about something related to social media, but it was because of a comment we saw, and I was like that imagine that you're in a public space where there are a lot of people, like maybe in a campus or something, but there are lots of people out there, and you join the conversation and you guys are talking, and the other person does not agree with you, or you guys have dissenting views, and you start, would it even come to your mind to start screaming and shouting and abusing the person and calling the person all sorts of names? A stranger you don't even know, you guys are just having a conversation. A normal person anyway, because I know there might be variants of people, but a normal person would want to remain as civil as possible. You won't just start screaming and shouting and insulting people. But the thing is, we do this on social media. We do it, and you might think like, oh, no voice is being heard, nobody is seeing me, so it's a lie. Like, your virtual presence, there's sometimes when I see someone's response that is very childish or not necessarily responding to me, because sometimes I just go through comments and just see what people are saying, and if I see that somebody is just responding irrationally or something, I just go to check the person's profile, like, who is this person? And that first impression sticks, that okay, this is the kind of person this person is. So it's not just all about, maybe you think people are not seeing you, you think because you're hiding behind your keyboard you're safe. I don't think so, because first impression matters. And remember, we still have a human reality. You're not sure, you don't know who you're going to meet tomorrow, and we've heard so many horror stories of people engaging people online, abusing them. I think there was one story of someone that was insulting a man or a woman on social media, like abused him, only for him to go the next day for his interview and guess who? It was the guy he was insulting. because I think the guy had checked him up or checked his profile. So when he saw him, he was like, aha, so you were the person that was insulting me yesterday. And I mean, we can all have an idea what would happen or the fate of that person. So but these kind of things happen, and that's why I think we should be really careful. And even aside from that, but just for respect of another person, respect of the human being, we should learn how to be civil. We should learn how to carry ourselves with such composure and class, even though you're on social media. So the first, and I think the most important rule that everyone on social media should observe is don't insult or abuse people on social media. Just don't go there, no matter how pushed you are. You see, people who abuse others on social media, especially a stranger you don't know, they come out as intellectually, should I say, inferior. They come out as intellectually inferior. I mean, if someone has a dissenting view from yours, the only logical thing to do is to think of something more intelligible to convince the other person, or just expressly state your view. But if you go down to insult, you become emotional, and that shows that you don't have emotional control. It means your EQ, your emotional quotient, is low. Your emotional intelligence is low. Like, you don't know how to control your emotions. I tell myself that even when people insult me, because you would always have people who will insult you, no matter how many videos you read, no matter how many talks, people would always still do this. But if you're listening to this, you can take that step. Not even if people insult you, you don't need another person to define your own response or to define your character at a particular time. You need to be strong enough and self-controlled enough not to allow someone push you around or dictate how you respond. You own your response. So if someone is insulting you, you own yourself, you own your response, and don't insult the person. If you want to continue with the conversation, you can just still intelligently continue, but if you don't, you can just stop. You know, because especially if you know yourself, you know who you are, then somebody's insult or somebody's remark should really not affect you, except you think that, or you validate yourself through other people's opinion, then it will affect you. So, but if that's not the case, then you shouldn't insult. If a pig calls you to the mud to play, like, you shouldn't go to the mud, you shouldn't play with a pig in the mud, because you're not a pig, isn't it? I don't know, it seems simple, but so many people make this mistake, you know, resorting to insult in public. It doesn't matter how stupid what someone says is, and that stupidity is subjective, because that's what you think. Everybody might not think that opinion that you find stupid is stupid. You are just the one thinking that, and that doesn't mean you're right. So you could actually be wrong. And the last video I made on the art of listening, if you haven't watched it, I'm going to leave the link in the description box, and I'm going to also leave the card up here. It's going to, I think people should watch it, because it would address this whole conflict thing. Because if you really take out time to listen to someone, then there might be less and less instances of this kind of things on social media. So the second thing on my list is, don't announce that you are cleaning up your friend list. Oh my God, this is the most irritating thing for me personally. This is the most irritating thing I have ever experienced on social media. When someone comes and makes a post to say, oh, from today I'm cleaning up my friends list, all those that have not interacted with me. Or we see posts that says, if you're reading me now, that means you survived my friend list. Like, really? Let me tell you my own reaction to that. Once I see anybody post that on my friends list, I immediately go and unfriend myself. I'm telling you, everybody that has done, it doesn't matter how well, thankfully none of my close contacts or my close friends have done that, but everybody that has done that, especially I see this on Facebook, everybody that has done that on my Facebook contact friend list, I have instantly just gone to unfriend myself, because Nothing reeks of desperation for attention than that. That's how I see it. Why would you come to announce? Of course, you're entitled to delete people from your friends list. I do that, but you don't need to come and announce it. Just quietly go and do what you want to do. It's your page, it's your profile. Nobody is dragging with you. Nobody is stopping you from. Just go and do that. But coming out to announce that you want to delete people from your friends list, you want to purge your friends list, it's I don't know, it comes out as immature. And I don't think I'm the only one that shares that view. I'm sure there are people also out there that share that view. So please stop if you do that. Yeah. So the third rule is don't call out people for flimsy reasons. Like, people just come out and call people out for the flimsiest of reasons. Let me still use the analogy of being in a public space. If you have an issue with someone, especially maybe from home, you don't come out and stand in the podium in the park or on the road and start announcing, oh, this person, this is what you did, this is what you did. Like, I'm sure the next thing they'll call is EMS, that is a psychiatric patient here. Next thing is to come and bond you to a psychiatric home, isn't it? If someone offends you, try every possible thing you can. Explore every possible avenue you can explore to make sure that you resolve that thing privately. You don't have issues with someone privately and then you come out and make it public and start disturbing our lives. Of course, there are instances where it is okay to call people out, but that should be like very rare occasions, and it should be after you have explored every possible option. And I think most instances where you can say, okay, it's kind of makes sense maybe to call people out is if it's an organization, a big organization that you've tried to contact. Remember, at every point of conflict resolution, you have to meet that person first. It doesn't matter if it's a public organization. Send them an email or do something. And after you have explored all possible avenues and it's not working, then you can call out. And in calling out, you don't really necessarily need to maybe insult the person or just bring down the person. Just let's all be genuine. We're all human beings relating with ourselves, and if someone calls you out for flimsy reasons and calls you out to debase you and, you know, kind of to tarnish your image in public, you wouldn't like it. So think about that for the other person. They wouldn't also like it, you know. Yeah, so we can do better. Let's keep it classy on the streets, okay? Fourth point I'm going to bring to attention is don't complain about your job on social media. I think I mentioned this briefly in my introduction or something. Like, this might seem so obvious, but unfortunately, a lot of people do this. This is, I don't know, this one, I don't even think this should be etiquette. This should be like common sense, really. Nobody say you shouldn't vent about your job, but don't come to social media and do this. Don't come. You don't know who is. Like, let's be careful though. I think the summary of all this is just being careful. Don't come on social media and rant about your colleague, you know, or threaten them, insult them. Definitely, somehow, the world we live in, you might think, oh, I just have 6 contacts, I can do anything I want to do. The next day, you're seeing your post on Instablog or Gistlover. If you're in Nigeria, these are our popular media blog, or those kind of shade room and all those kind of social media outlets. And next thing, you're going viral. You know, it doesn't make sense. It's just common sense. Don't do that, please. And even apart from the fact that you could get fired, obviously you could get fired, the next job you might be going to apply for might also reject you, because now we know that there's a trend of employers doing a background search of their intending employees on social media. So people are going on social media and checking you out and trying to just see who you are, because now people have come to realize that what you say on social media or who you are on social media is like more of the real you than who you portray to be outside. Because on social media, everyone loses their guards and they really kind of show who they are. So most employers now are doing background search on social media. So you run the risk of losing your present job. You also run the risk of not even getting future jobs. So just don't do it, okay? And the final point for today is don't tag people without their consent. I know this might not seem like a thing in Nigeria because it's easy, we just tag anybody we want to tag on random posts and all. But the truth is, some people actually don't really feel comfortable with being tagged without their knowledge, especially if they consider the information to be maybe sensitive or embarrassing. Say for example, your classmate from primary school or secondary school, and you dug up one of those embarrassing pictures of where they're looking like, egg on stick or something like that, and you post it and you tag them. Some people might not like that, other people don't mind, but you never can tell who likes it and who doesn't. So it's only respectful and appropriate to tag someone, especially if it's someone you've not really had contact with in a long time. Tag to seek for consent. Hey, is it okay? I want to post this picture. Is it okay? I want to do this. Another thing that people do, which is super annoying, is tagging people, just tagging anybody to random posts or their adverts. And if you know someone who does this, then please share this video to them and let them watch, and remember to tell them to also subscribe. So like I said initially, these are not strict rules, but basically if you do this on social media, not only does it put you as a cultured and considerate person, but it also makes you likable and easily socially attractive. So which of this etiquette applies to you the most? I'm sure that most of us watching this, we are doing one or two of them, but which of them is new to you? Which of them applies to you the most? Or which of them are you guilty of? Let me know in the comment section. I would like to read. And don't forget to click that tiny little subscribe button there and the tiny bitty like button by its side. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you once again for joining me. Bye.